You cannot let one mean person, 5 mean people, 10 mean people get in the way of you saving for retirement. Today I'll be talking about creating a business while working full-time, as well as the viability of it, time management, and just overcoming the important factors such as feelings of shame, and also just getting out of your own way in totality. In this video I'll be sharing how to find your why, as well as integrating a business into your life as opposed to reconstructing your life around your business while you're already working full-time. So what inspired me to start was when I turned 30. I realized that I wasn't anywhere close to where I wanted to be in terms of my financial goals. And that's coming from someone who doesn't consider themselves a reckless spender. However, because I've chosen an unconventional career, I lost access or the diligence that comes with a corporate contributing towards things such as an RA. Even though I'm not a reckless spender, I wasn't contributing to those things as best as I could on my own, because you obviously spend a lot more time researching policies and comparing and etc, and then analysis paralysis, you end up doing nothing. If you're wondering, I am in travel and tourism. It's not that they don't offer it, it's just it's reserved for senior positions. When I turned 30 and I had these epiphanies, I realized that there's no way on this ginormous planet that I could be the only person feeling this way. And that's why I started Social Citrus, to essentially find community and also inspire others to take action towards creating that additional stream of income, especially if it's with the aim to save towards a house, a wedding, family travel, or like for your kids' education, for example. I feel like there's a multitude of reasons that we could tap into additional streams of income where we don't have to adjust our current lifestyle and budget. We essentially just open ourselves up instead. This is not my first time starting a business, and my first business, I essentially went cold turkey on it because I was burnt out. I started a design studio and I was also selling paintings on the side. So it was really like a one-stop shop, and lo and behold, I was also working full-time as a designer. That was a really challenging business idea to see through from the get-go, because finding time, I was essentially dedicating my weekends wholly to my business, like Saturday for design, Sunday for painting, or my evenings to design. I wasn't exercising, I wasn't sleeping properly, I wasn't socializing. This literally became my identity. And during this journey, I fell grossly into the comparison game, which is unfortunately a game that you're designed to lose. You will still find someone who you think is better than you, and it will just be like this endless vicious cycle, and in the end you're gonna give up on something important to you because you got stuck in that, right? And that is what happened to me. I was following all these design studios that had owners who were working on them full time, which sets them up for success differently than it would for myself. Because I was only able to dedicate evenings and weekends, I felt like I wasn't doing enough. I was posting more, creating more work, which meant that the work was of lesser quality, and then comparing it, chasing vanity metrics. If my TikTok video didn't go viral, I would feel like I'm just not doing it right. So in that sense, I would model someone else's TikTok video as my own, and it still wouldn't work. But it wouldn't work because it wasn't me. It wasn't true to who I was. It wasn't true to my business ethos. I hired a designer for my branding, and I would look for freelancers to help with this, to help with that, just to free up the load. But in the end, I became so resentful of design as a freelancer and painting. I went cold turkey on my business, and I haven't painted since. Just comparison as a whole, it's not something you want to get into. So when you start this journey, I want you to consider that you can say no to those things, that you are in control of those things, even as a novice. So time management is really important when starting out as a hybrid entrepreneur. I don't like the word side hustle, so I just will be avoiding it naturally during these videos or in my content. So basically, in order to use our time wisely, we need to do self-audits regularly. And a self-audit is looking at how you spend your 24 hours. If I were to do an audit looking at my hours and I wake up at 7, mine set hours to 7:30, 7:30 to 8 I'm getting ready for work because I don't commute, can I just bump that up to wake up at 6? Because what you want to do is find that golden hour daily, and perhaps even more than that on a weekend, to just take those steps forward. And you can start as small as you're comfortable with. In the long run, they add up. And if you can maximize them into 1 hour, like today's hour is dedicated to business, bank account registering, social media. Tomorrow's hour is dedicated to ideation and planning, integrating your channels, seeing how your YouTube video is going to feed into your Instagram, is going to feed into a newsletter. That essentially what you're trying to do is pick an hour. From that hour, you dedicate your whole mind to getting one thing right. I've taken strides, even though they are small, but they are noticeable. I know more than what I did 3 months ago because I did the research, because I dedicated my golden hour to researching platforms. I've started my channels, and my to-do list is defined because I do not want to feel overwhelmed, that I will say, today I'm starting my YouTube channel, but I'm only going to post my video like next week. There isn't this rush, because remember, we are in it for the long run. Because this isn't our full-time gig, we have to make sure that what we dedicate to our business moves the needle forward. Mindset is very important when you start a business. You are playing 2 roles now. You're playing full-time employee and business owner, as well as the other spheres that you participate in. So to not compromise the quality of how we show up in our other roles, we need to ensure that our mindset for each and every one of them is optimized for greatness, that we are primed for success. And the only way to prime yourself for success is to do the inner work. It's true that when we start something new, we feel afraid. That is inevitable. How we handle fear differs case by case, person by person. How I handle fear is more in a self-sabotage sense. I consume more than I create, and I use that as a safety mechanism. And what this does is basically, when you are consuming so many tutorials, reading articles, reels, TikToks, you name it, you're learning a new skill, that is true, but you are also making yourself hyper aware of the things you do not know about, and you will just never feel like enough to start. You will just continuously be in your head and in your own way if you continue down that loop. And what I've noticed as of late is that I just get so fed up of myself, so I draw the limit. And how I draw my limit is, I say, we're going to consume 1 more tutorial today, and then we need to start. It's enough. Like, it's over, it's done. You've had your doom scrolling or whatever, in the sense that it's aiding your business and adding to your knowledge bank. However, it's getting in the way now, you know? You need to start. And that's all it comes down to, is what are you doing to stand in the way of starting the learning process that you just don't start at all, or you feel like you don't know enough to start. I'm here to remind you that every expert was once a beginner, as cliche as it may sound. Every person was once a baby. Those who are experts know what starting feels like, and the naysayers have not started what you're starting. They are essentially detached from the experience, and that's why they can make the mean comments. That's why they can ridicule you for even trying, because they are so detached from trying this very thing that you've tried. When it comes to the feelings of shame associated with starting something new, or the shame of being seen, here is where I think it's important to have community, because if you were to say, oh, but I feel like they're going to judge me, either there is a construct in your head, or you have a mental image of someone who you know will judge you. In my case, it is essentially, oh, I feel like they're going to judge me, but I'm referring to like my grandmother who doesn't have access to YouTube. So how's she going to judge me? Yes, someone could tell her that I started this channel and I made this video. She's in her mid-90s. I don't think she would actually grasp. When you say you're feeling that they are going to judge you, do you have a mental image of someone, or is it just this ambiguous they that exists out there in the ether, on the web, or wherever? And based on what your answer is, you can take action. When it is an ambiguous they, it's you judging yourself before you even begin. When you have a they who can be named, block them. Just don't tell them. start a secret channel. Don't use your first name. And if they do ask, don't make a conversation out of it. Protect yourself first, because you're starting this business for the benefit of you, for the benefit of your future, your family's future, etc. You cannot let one mean person, 5 mean people, 10 mean people get in the way of you saving for retirement, or get in the way of you saving for your dream vacation to Greece. We need to weigh out the odds here and stack them in our favor. Yes, you do not like my channel, or you don't like the way I did my hair today, or you think I speak too slowly. Not everything on the internet is for your consumption. Some things are not made for you. Move on. These are essentially the boundaries that we need to practice when starting a business. Overcoming the feelings of shame are possible when you have community and people that you trust. When you are afraid, or you do receive negative feedback, confide in a friend, confide in your partner, a family member, or if you're like me, confide in a therapist. Having an unbiased opinion or support is so important in this journey, because you will get feedback, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, and whether you can flip it on its head and see the positive side of it. It will happen. Be prepared for it and use the tools that can help you spring forward. So that is all that I have for you today. I thank you so much for watching. And yeah, this is just the beginning. So my next video, who knows what it will be like. But anyway, love you. Bye.